And I call the member for Bradfield.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to recognise the work of the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Women's Shelter and President Sally Ann McClellan in providing assistance to victims and survivors of domestic violence in my electorate of Bradfield and surrounding areas. In the last year alone, there were 263 reported domestic violence assaults in the Hornsby and Ku-ring-gai council areas. The Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Women's Shelter aims to provide temporary supported accommodation for women in times of crisis such as homelessness or domestic violence. Women can stay at the shelter for up to 3 months and are allocated specialist caseworkers who support them to access necessary legal, health, employment and financial services. Women who cannot be housed can access an outreach program. Since opening in February 2015, more than 282 women have been safely housed at the shelter. 72% needed help due to domestic violence. 97% had a tailored case plan within 72 hours of arrival at the shelter. Can I also acknowledge the work that Sally Ann McClellan is presently doing as part of her Apron Project Roadshow initiative? She's driving throughout New South Wales with the aim of educating and raising awareness of domestic violence in towns across New South Wales while raising much-needed funds for women's services at each stop with an apron showcase, community art projects and the sharing of stories. Can I also acknowledge the Chief Executive of Women's Community Shelters, Annabelle Daniel. Women's Community Shelters is the umbrella organisation behind the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Women's Shelter. It's also the umbrella organisation behind the Northern Beaches Women's Shelter, and I'd like to acknowledge the President of that organisation, Rosie Sullivan. I joined with her and the member for Warringah and Margie Abbott in Manly last Saturday to announce new funding for trials of technology which can help protect women against the risk of domestic violence, and we were also able to speak of the $60 million grant program announced by the Prime Minister last Monday for eligible organisations to provide new or expanded emergency accommodation facilities for those escaping domestic and family violence. And I certainly hope and expect that both the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Women's Shelter and the Northern Beaches Women's Shelter will be amongst the many organisations around the country bringing forward grant applications under that $60 million program, which of course was also accompanied by an announcement of $18 million to extend the existing Keeping Women Safe in Their Homes program. The Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Women's Shelter, the Northern Beaches Women's Shelter are wonderful examples of communities coming together to develop facilities which provide support to women at a time of great need. I congratulate all involved with these organisations, and I look forward to the $60 million grants program announced last Monday, allowing many more such organisations to deliver their services.
I thank the member for Bradfield for his contribution.